Now let us talk about trimming devices because it is kind of related to these other videos we've done on control surfaces. And it is definitely something pilots do all the time, so hopefully that means you will find this video interesting. And if you do, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps us grow and reach more aviation enthusiasts like you.
Okay, so what is a trimming device?
Well, it's any system used to help balance an aircraft in the air, which reduces the workload on the pilots and allows them to maintain a stable and controlled flight without having to constantly fight against forces trying to push the aircraft off its balanced state. Now there are many different types of trim devices, but the most common ones are trim tabs and trimmable horizontal stabilizers, or THS. So first, let's start off with trim tabs. A trim tab is basically a small movable surface on the back of a control surface such as an elevator. The purpose of a trim tab is to help the pilot balance the aircraft along the pitch axis, so it's the same axis that your elevator controls. Now, trim tabs can be adjusted during flight to counteract any aerodynamic forces that might cause the aircraft to become unbalanced. So for example, if you were flying a plane and you encountered a strong headwind, that could cause the nose of the plane to drop down. In that situation, you would want to adjust the trim tab on the elevator to move the nose of the plane back up. You would adjust the trim tab to an upward position, which then makes the elevator more effective so it keeps the plane balanced. One thing to note about trim tabs is that they are fixed once set, so the only way to change their position is from the ground or by restarting the aircraft. Now there are two types of trim tabs, fixed and balanced. Fixed trim tabs are installed during the manufacturing process and cannot be changed after installation. Balanced trim tabs, on the other hand, are adjustable and can be adjusted during flight using switches or knobs in the cockpit. Now, trim tabs are typically found on smaller aircraft such as general aviation planes and some helicopters. However, they can also be found on larger aircraft such as commercial airliners, but in that case, they are usually incorporated into a more sophisticated trimming system known as a trimmable horizontal stabilizer. A trimmable horizontal stabilizer, also known as a trim tab, is a more advanced version of the trim tab we just discussed. Instead of just having a small trim tab on the elevator, the entire horizontal stabilizer moves forward and backward. Now, this allows for a much more precise and effective way to balance the aircraft along the pitch axis. As with trim tabs, trimmable horizontal stabilizers are used to counteract external forces such as wind gusts or changes in weight distribution. By moving the horizontal stabilizer, the aircraft can be kept on the desired flight path without requiring constant pilot input. This not only reduces pilot workload, but also improves fuel efficiency and overall flight stability. Trimmable horizontal stabilizers are typically found on larger or more modern jets where the increased complexity and precision are required. Now, it should be noted that these systems are more complex than simple trim tabs and often require more maintenance. But the benefits in terms of improved performance and safety make them a worthwhile investment. Also, the THS can be controlled manually, meaning through inputs from the pilot, or automatically through electronic or computer systems. Modern fly-by-wire aircraft have advanced computers that can automatically adjust the THS to compensate for various factors, such as changes in altitude, speed, and weight. This level of automation can significantly reduce the workload on the pilots, allowing them to focus on other aspects of the flight. In addition to improving flight stability and reducing pilot workload, trimming devices such as trimmable horizontal stabilizers can also enhance the overall comfort of air travel. By minimizing any unwanted movements of the aircraft, passengers are less likely to experience motion sickness or discomfort, leading to a more enjoyable flight experience. Let's take a closer look at trimmable horizontal stabilizers, shall we? First off, THSs are usually located at the tail of the aircraft, and they consist of a movable section of the horizontal stabilizer and actuators that move the section back and forth. Now, when the THS is moved rearward, the elevator moves downward, causing the aircraft to pitch up. When the THS is moved forward, the elevator moves upward, causing the aircraft to pitch down. Now, depending on the type of aircraft and the specific design of the THS system, the movement of the horizontal stabilizer can be controlled in a few different ways. Older aircraft may feature a manual system where the pilot directly controls the movement of the stabilizer using a control wheel or other manual controls. Other aircraft may have an electric system where motors and electronic components drive the movement of the stabilizer. Now, in modern jet airliners, especially those equipped with fly-by-wire technology, the THS is often controlled by a computer-based system. These systems use electronic signals and computers to control the movement of the stabilizer and maintain the desired flight path. But here, as an interesting fact, some aircraft, such as the Boeing 787 Dreamliner, feature an all-moving tail, which means that both the horizontal stabilizer and the vertical stabilizer move as one unit. Now, this can provide several advantages over a conventional tail design, including improved control authority, reduced drag, and increased maneuverability. All right, let's dive into the benefits of trimming devices. First up, they allow pilots to maintain the aircraft in a balanced state, reducing the need for constant control inputs and allowing for more precise control over the aircraft's movement. Next, trimming devices help to reduce the workload on pilots, allowing them to focus on other tasks such as monitoring instruments and communicating with air traffic control. And as we already mentioned, this is particularly important in commercial airliners where multiple pilots are present. Trimming devices also help to improve the stability and smoothness of the aircraft, resulting in a more comfortable flight for passengers and reducing the likelihood of motion sickness. Additionally, trimming devices can help to extend the range and fuel efficiency of an aircraft by reducing the amount of drag and allowing the aircraft to maintain a more efficient airspeed. Now let's discuss how trimming devices work, taking into account the different types of systems. Manual trimming devices such as those found on smaller aircraft are operated directly by the pilot using a control wheel or other similar controls. The movement of the control wheel is then translated into a mechanical movement of the trim tab or horizontal stabilizer, allowing the pilot to adjust the aircraft's balance manually. On the other hand, electric trimming devices utilize motors and electronic components to move the trim tab or horizontal stabilizer. These systems may be controlled manually by the pilot through switches or buttons in the cockpit, or they may incorporate an automatic trim function, allowing the pilot to set the desired trim and engage an electric motor to maintain it. Modern fly-by-wire aircraft typically use a computer-based system to control trimming devices. These systems use electronic signals and computers to control the movement of the stabilizer and maintain the desired flight path. The computer system receives input from various sensors and control inputs from the pilot, allowing for precise control over the aircraft's trim and balance. Computerized trimming systems also allow for features such as automatic trim and autopilot functionality, which can further reduce the workload on the pilots and improve the overall efficiency and safety of the aircraft. Finally, let's explore the components of a typical trimming system, such as those found in commercial airliners. A typical trimming system consists of a control surface, such as a horizontal stabilizer or trim tab, an actuator, a control unit, and a power source. The control surface is the part of the aircraft that moves to adjust the trim, and it is connected to an actuator, which is responsible for moving the control surface. The actuator is driven by a power source such as an electric motor or hydraulic pump, and it receives input from the control unit. The control unit is responsible for processing input signals from the pilots and other sources and sending commands to the actuator to adjust the trim. Now, the system also includes various sensors and control surfaces that provide feedback to the control unit, allowing it to monitor the position of the trim and make any necessary adjustments. In addition to these core components, a modern trimming system may also include backup systems and fail-safes to ensure that the trim can be adjusted manually in the event of a power outage or other emergency. Overall, the components of a trimming system work together to provide pilots with a reliable and efficient way to adjust the trim of the aircraft and maintain a stable and balanced flight. Hey guys, thanks for watching this episode. If you liked it, please leave us a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss out on future episodes. Have a great day!